Hi, and welcome to Mr. Fisher's Math Essentials podcasts. This podcast is on unit price. So, with products in the store being sold in various sizes, one of the questions that comes to mind is how do we determine the least expensive choice? One way to do it is to find the unit price, and the unit price will allow us to compare prices and help to determine the best buy. A unit price is the cost of one unit and is sometimes referred to as a unit rate. To calculate the unit price, you can use a proportion where the second rate has a denominator of 1. So let's look at an example. If we look at eco-friendly toilet paper, well, it's $2.68 and it's sold for a package of 4 rolls. To compare this to other toilet paper, let's find the unit price. So let's find the cost of one roll of toilet paper using the following proportion. So $2.68 is the cost of 4 rolls, and that's equal to X being the cost of one roll. Okay, so now we've set up the proportion. Again, just like with before, we're going to cross multiply. So I'm going to take one roll and times it by 2.68, and I'm going to take 4 rolls and times it by X. Next line, I'm going to have 268 times 1 is equal to 4 rolls times X. So 268 is going to be equal to 4X. Remember, X is something we don't know. So to solve for X on this side of the equation, we have to eliminate the 4. In other words, we have to get the X by itself. So 4 times X, the opposite would be divide. If I divide it by 4 on this side, remember I have to do the same on the other side. My 4's are going to cancel, and I'm left with 268 divided by 4. So in this case, my X is equal to 268 divided by 4. When we do the math, we get 0.67. So the cost for one toilet paper roll is 67 cents. Let's look at another example. Rosa buys supplies for a Hamlet office in Arviat, Nunavut, where she works as a clerk. She wants to buy pens. The supplier sells a box of 12 pens for $6.25. So let's calculate the unit price of one pen. And this may be important if we were maybe looking at a couple different suppliers and we wanted to find out which supplier was going to offer us the best price. We may want to set up a proportion in order to calculate the cost of one unit and then to compare those units. Now, grocery stores have started to do this for us, but in some cases they haven't. So again, after we set up a proportion, we're going to cross multiply. Right underneath, I'm going to write it out. So 625 or 6.25 times 1 is equal to 12 times X. Now 6.25 times 1 is 6.25 equals 12X. Again, I want to get X by itself, so I'm going to divide it by 12. That cancels my 12's. And X is going to be equal to 6.25 divided by 12, which is equal to 0.52. So to answer, one pen is equal to 52 cents. Okay, let's do one more example. So Claire picks fresh strawberries at a U-Pick farm in Portage La Prairie. She can fill a pint basket which is equal to 0.5506 liters, and that will cost her $1.50. But if she fills a 4-liter ice cream pail, it will cost her $9. Which size of container will give her a better buy? So what I've done is I've separated out, and we're going to do a comparison based on a unit price. Now let's choose a liter. Let's figure out what the cost is per liter, and then we can do a comparison of what it's going to cost us per liter. So remember that a pint is 0.5506 liters, and that's going to be equal to $1.50. So $1.50 right? And that's going to be equal to X over 1. We want to figure out what the cost is for 1 liter. Again, same thing. We're going to cross multiply. 150 times 1 is $1.50. And that's going to be equal to 0.5506x. Now notice I could have just taken $1.50 and divided it, but we want to show our work. Because every question is not going to be this easy. Those two cancel out. And so my x is equal to 2.724. So to rewrite, the cost for the strawberries is $2.72 per liter. That's the cost of 1 liter. Now let's go do the same on the other side. So in this case I have $9 for a 4-liter ice cream pail, and I want to figure out again the cost of 1 liter. So setting it up the same way, cross multiplying, take the 1 times it by 9, take the 4 times it by x, and we're left with $9 is equal to 4x divided by 4 divided by 4. Remember, the 4's will cancel, leaving x by itself. And in this case, x is going to be equal to 2.25. So to answer, we're looking at $2.25 per liter. And let's do this in blue. Doing a comparison of these two numbers, I can determine that it's actually more economical to go with the 4-liter ice cream pail. And that will give me a unit price of $2.25 per liter as opposed to $2.72 per liter if I just went with a pint. Okay, and that concludes our Math Essentials podcast on unit pricing, and I hope that was helpful.